Hello, everybody. It's Jack and Ross from Cultaholic. Excuse us if we're both hay fever boys and it's a high pollen day. But there's been big news in WWE that has shocked a lot of the wrestling world already this past weekend. First of all, WWE, he's worded it as being released, but it seems as though R-Truth's contract is not going to be renewed once it expires. So I guess it's not technically a release, but it's still a massive shock.
Yeah, he's not getting renewed. Truth announced this himself on his Twitter by saying, "I'm sorry to inform you all, I just got released from WWE. I want to thank WWE for the ride, but mostly I want to thank each and every one of you who was along for the ride. Thank you for all the love, support, and appreciation you have given me over the years. Thank you." But then there's developments from Mike Johnson of PW Insider and Big Sean Ross Sapp, isn't there?
Yes, they've revealed that Truth will depart WWE once his contract comes to an end, which is a big... So it has been confirmed. It's a big surprise because we just saw him compete against John Cena on Saturday night's main event. And it comes as R-Truth has one of the highest selling pieces of merch as well in recent weeks with the shirt he wore during his entrance of that match with the Ron Cena design on the front. I'm speechless. I don't know what to say because he's such a company lifer, it seemed.
Yeah, and it's the timing as well because we get used to the sort of post-WrestleMania cull, if you want to call it that, where people do actually get released rather than the contracts running to an end and not being renewed. Then, as you say, he's just been in the program with John Cena, but more in terms of like behind the scenes, it seems like a locker room might need people like R-Truth just to say, here's how things work on the main roster. If you need any help with travel or accommodation or anything, they have to sort out themselves these days.
Right, yeah, not even the wrestling stuff. He's just been in the industry for so long.
I've been here for 25 years or whatever. It's been like over 2 runs, of course, but here's how we do things on the main roster. So I can see why on one hand that maybe he's not on a full-time schedule. He's not like a money maker like your Roman Reigns are, who are also not on a full-time schedule. But why not just, a reduced deal potentially compared to what he's on? If he's on a full-time deal now and that's the rationale for it, I don't know, it's a weird one.
He's still good in the ring. He can still versatile. He can slot in anywhere in the card. It's a very strange one. Just a bit about his background. Obviously, R-Truth, Ron, the Truth Killings, has been in his second run with WWE. He was initially part of the company as K-Quick, the turn of the century. He then joined TNA and became the first African-American to win the NWA World Heavyweight title and remained a featured performer in TNA until 2008, at which point he returned to WWE as R-Truth.
And that was a main event-ish run in the early 2010s where he was smoking cigarettes while being a heel. Capital Punishment's main event in 2011, of course.
Him and
didn't win that one. Yeah,
tried to ruin the show and everything. It was a bit of a bizarre storyline, but he gave it his all.
Yeah,
showed his versatility on screen because he's not just, for any newer fans, he's not always just been this kind of lovable, goofy babyface. He's been a heel and stuff as well.
If you're on the Twitter machine, you will no doubt have seen his first TNA promo from way back in the day where he's like, "What, they released me? Bah, 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 bah." He can do it all, so he can.
He enjoyed a main event run, as Ross said, in the early 2010s, but then settled back into this more familiar, popular comedic character for the past 10 years. His penultimate match saw the 53-year-old, my goodness, lose to John Cena at Saturday night's main event, while his final match was on the May 30th edition of SmackDown, where he lost to JC Mateo, the recently debuted, formerly known Jeff Cobb.
Yes, the numbers now. 2-time United States champion, 2-time hardcore champion, 2-time tag team champion, mixed match challenge winner with Carmella, a little bit of a dance break. Adam Pacitti knows a lot about them. And a 54-time 24/7 champion.
Many have reacted, of course, online already, including The Miz, his former tag partner, saying, "Forming Awesome Truth with you was one of the best runs of my career. No one made me laugh harder. Your energy, heart, and smile lit up every room and every arena. You're not one of a kind. You're one in a lifetime. Love you, Truth. Keep shining." Yeah,
Rhea Ripley described the news as literally heartbreaker, which obviously shows what kind of stand he has behind the scenes. Kevin Owens, though, this is the one.
Yeah.
The most heartfelt one. Should I go or do you want to go?
I'll try. I don't know if I can do it justice, but I'll try. Kevin Owens with a very heartfelt message saying, "I've said many times that there are a few people in the industry for whom I have unlimited respect, love, and admiration for. Ron Killings is at the very top of that list. An incredible, timeless performer with an unmatched ability to entertain and bring a smile to everyone he encounters, be it the fans or every single person lucky enough to have had the privilege to work alongside him. His kindness, humility, and infectious good nature makes him one of the most beloved people I've met in this industry, and the void that his absence will leave in our locker room is immeasurable."
That's been the most interesting part of this, apart from the actual news itself, of course. It's just the reaction to it. It's been very different to other releases. Obviously, we do get reactions from other releases that are like, "Oh, such a shame this, that, and the other. Love working with you." But this just seems to be... I've seen people go like, this is just bad. It's like the worst thing they've heard.
Fightful Select added more details on that, saying that he'd been contacted on the weekend by a talent relations employee to say his WWE contract would not be extended. Fightful add, based on those we spoke to, he was told that he hadn't been in trouble and did nothing wrong. A number of talents spoke with him following the news to check on him, and everyone seemed confused by the news, including Truth himself.
Yeah, Fightful, as I just said there, described the reaction from the roster as unlike anything they've ever covered, met with, in quotes, a complete shock and disbelief, and one top WWE talent calling it total nonsense, while another described the current WWE regime as ruthless. Fightful reiterates that this release is internally the most universally disliked departure they've ever covered, as nobody has a bad word to say about R-Truth, and they're all just talking glowing about this guy throughout his run.
Road Dogg Brian James, who works for WWE Creative, commented on his former tag partner. That shows how long he's been around as well, because he's been not only tag partners with people like The Miz, but also Road Dogg. He talked about it as well, saying, "I'm heartbroken. It's the nature of the beast, the part of the business that no one likes, but the bean counters. No one likes but the bean counters, the money makers. I love Ron, the Truth Killings, and I don't care who knows it. What a run."
Yeah, God,
no, I just meant it's strange that he said that. You'd think because he's very much part of the regime, but he's clearly moved enough by this to even speak out himself.
Hack theory, of course, tinfoil hat on. Do you reckon these releases have got nothing to do with like how they used to be back in the day? Do you reckon it's TKO who are above your Triple H's and your Road Doggs and people of that ilk making the decisions?
Maybe just because of the timing of it. Like you say, it's not the typical post-Mania stuff we're used to. Yeah. Possibly.
We are in a new era, of course, with the TKO running of the company. Pedo Insider Elite, of course, they report that many in the company thought Truth's release announcement was the result of being hacked or maybe some kind of joke, but the feeling was absolute disbelief when it turned out to be true.
And PW Insider also had Truth was extremely popular across the board in the locker room, so there was a shock and a feeling along the lines of how could the company cut him, given the Truth is the type of personality who adds levity to the show and could be plugged into any scenario, as we kind of touched on earlier. A few wondered if Truth had been offered another role as an ambassador, similar to Titus O'Neil, and if not, why not, given how beloved the character had been. Another talent commented that it made them feel as if nothing is guaranteed. I guess we should talk a little bit, before we move on to Carlito, a bit about future plans possibly for R-Truth as well.
Yeah, the moment the release was announced, there have been lots of immediate interest from indie promotions who wanted to work with Ron Killings once his contract expires. Fightful reports that while Ron may not have the rights to his name, R-Truth, of course, he was Ron the Truth Killings on the indie circuit previously, but he has also produced his own theme song, so there's a strong chance he could keep that outside of the WWE.
Yeah, whatever he does, I hope he manages. I mean, it's not a surprise that there's lots of people wanting to snap him up because he's such a popular character.
Oh, yeah.
Carlito is as well, of course, and he is set to leave WWE as the company has decided not to renew his contract either. A report from Mike Johnson of PW Insider has revealed that Carlito has been told his contract will not be renewed and he'll exit the organization when his deal officially comes to an end, similar to the Truth situation.
Yeah, Carlito made his announcement with a little dash of humor there inside of it as well. He says, "My contract is up in 2 weeks. It will not be renewed. On top of that, WWE's demand I pay back the dollar they paid me for apparently stealing money from the company. I've had my lawyers look into it, and after reviewing my footage on Netflix for the past months, they suggested I pay back the money. This was accompanied by the Homer gift into the hedge thing." This is about the DLC packs on 2K, is it not? Surely in the clubhouse, do you reckon?
Oh, right, that would make sense if it was.
What else do you reckon it would be?
Just that. It could be something real.
Apple expenditure.
He's put all jokes aside, gracias WWE and especially the WWE Universe. Los quiero mucho. P.S. I'll reappear again in another 13 years. He doesn't care. I love Carlito. He says what he wants.
He'll be fine, won't he? Yeah. You'll just go back to what he was doing before this secondary run.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
He first performed for the company from 2003 until 2010, and then there was a brief 2-night return for the 2021 Royal Rumble, and then another short return at Backlash 2023, which of course was in Puerto Rico, to assist Bad Bunny in his match against Damian Priest. The positive response to Carlito's appearance led to this full-time return in October 2023, where he joined the LWO, then turned heel, and then more recently aligned with the Judgment Day, where he's kind of, in a similar way to R-Truth, he's added a bit more humor. Although there's people like Dom and stuff who are funny too, but Carlito often gets like the little punchline at the end of the segment or whatever.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't know what else to say there. His role has been a little bit more reduced, I think would be kind to say, wouldn't it? So I guess you can see why this one is happening as well. If there's on a full-time deal compared to like maybe a part-time deal, if that makes any kind of sense.
Yeah, it still feels quite ruthless and stuff, but it's not as much of a shock as the Truth one is.
No.
While not wrestling as much as Ross said, he has featured regularly on TV. He made his return to Puerto Rico's World Wrestling Council on May 31st, where he defeated Ray Gonzalez to become the new World Wrestling Council Puerto Rico champion.
Why not?
He's already off. Fair enough. I didn't know it.
Yeah, he's fine.
And Cultaholic, I've got written here, can exclusively report that Carlito will be back in Puerto Rico in about 3 to 4 weeks, which may become his home base now that he is the promotion's champion as well. And it's kind of his family promotion, isn't it?
Yeah, his dad has big historical ties, doesn't he? Both Truth and Carlito's releases are connected to NXT call-ups, according to Wrestling Observer, who say ultimately when there are additions coming from NXT, there will be subtractions. Older undercard guys or guys not being used are always the ones most at risk. Which makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah.
It makes sense, but I still think, I know we've talked there about how the Carlito one's not too much of a shot, but the Truth one, he seemed like he was going to be there, even if not in an on-screen role, like has been mentioned in the notes there, Titus O'Neil, or just involved somehow, because he's such a character.
That's the thing, and this is just a complete just sort of get out. And said, oh, mate, like, you're not welcome back in once your contract's up. Why not just negotiate a new deal that sort of reflects how they're going to be used on TV or maybe outside of the company, like in a Titus O'Neil kind of role?
Do you think is that why you maybe were thinking it feels maybe like more of a TKO thing?
Could be. It's different how we don't get many like not contract reneweds in June over the last few years, have we?
It's very strange. If there's more updates, we'll have them here at Cultaholic Wrestling, of course. And if there's any more news later on today, you can find us on this very channel. I've been Jack. This has been Ross. Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below, and we'll see you soon.